Hello and welcome to Scrolling with Ceazor. Today is June 25th, 2026. More blood in the streets today. Another nice juicy red candle across the board. The only thing, gold is kind of corrected its dump yesterday. Well, not quite corrected, but holding in the middle of it. ETH is down 3%. BTC is down almost 3%. Yeah, so lots of redness. Sonic continues to dump like crazy. Even Hype is got a red candle today, but sideways actions since close of yesterday. So, as always, this is not financial advice. The S&P is bouncing around as well. Red candle today, but at the same price as closing yesterday. So yeah, so that's that. Let's get into the tweets today and talk about some news, things that are happening. As always, this is not financial advice, just the news, just the stuff I'm seeing and talking about. Okay, so start with Base. Base mainnet is currently halted while the team works on an issue with block production. All funds are secure and will update you once it's resolved. So yeah, that happened today. You can't do anything on Base right now. It's halted. It's turned off. So yeah. Just news. That's the news. Okay, so moving over to this tweet here. It's an article by Alchemix, and you can read through the whole thing. But there's a key aspect in here that I wanted to highlight. I thought I highlighted. Oh, here it is. So ALUSD and ALETH are synthetic debt tokens. They're not algorithmic stablecoins. So if you look at the chart of these tokens, you'll notice that like they're very bad at maintaining pegs, so to speak. But I don't look at these tokens as stablecoins. Like I'll give you an example. If I go to Dex Screener and I search for ALUSD, and I'll just choose the first one here. So as you can see, it kind of bounces close to peg, but it never actually trades at $1. Now it's been like this for a long time, and there's somewhere in here, I think it was around here, there's a migration to V3, and there's quite a bit of dump, right? So people will look at this and be like, oh, that's scary, that's terrible, right? But you have to remember, like, people are minting these versus CDPs, trading out of them, and that's what's kind of happening here. And if they want to repay their debt, they can buy at a discount and repay their debt. So just like a normal stablecoin works, however, the system is not trying to keep the peg very, very, very healthy, because it's not, the utility of this token is not a stablecoin. It's a debt, because you borrow it, you can get out when it's at a premium, like especially when it's up close to $1. You can sell out, or you can stick it into the fixed term ones when there's space. So if we go to Alchemix Volt fixed yield, when there is space here, you can convert them 1-to-1. But as you can see, there's no space. It's all fully utilized. People are waiting to get their 1-to-1 redemptions through. I'm not sure when the team will like crank these up and allow for more to go through, but that's what it is. So I'm looking at these tokens mostly as a bond. Sometimes if I have debt, I've had debt for quite a while on Alchemix, and when the price is down like this, sometimes I'll buy and repay some of my debt, because I'm making like 5 cents on the dollar, right? Because I sold a long time ago, or I stuck it through the transmuter and got stable coins out of it, and so forth. So yeah, so that's kind of it. You should probably read this article, and you'll get a better understanding of what I'm talking about here. But like, just because it says USD or doesn't necessarily mean that it's a stable coin, or even designed to be like a stable coin. So anyhow, that's that. Now some people might say, oh, no, that's just a cope, right? It's a stable coin, but they can't keep it on peg, so let's just change the name of it. That's a valid thing to say as well, probably. But anyways, that's that. Let's move on. So Gustakov.eth from Lido, apparently, he tweeted this out, and he says, I will support ETH staking issuance cut if Justin Drake makes ETH consistently above 5K. Now, obviously, I commented on this, and what I basically say was like, it kind of sounds grifty and price actiony, and like people, why you care about price so much? We're in it for the tech, right? But it's kind of true. Like, people who are in ETH right now, the people who are still holding ETH, they're kind of dependent on that staking ETH APR to justify holding ETH because it's down so much. But if price had a positive price action, like, of course there's going to be ups and downs, but if it was generally positive, then people wouldn't care so much about the APR, right? So it's like he what he's saying is true. Like, this is what people believe and how people feel, whether it's like ideal or like whether it's greedy or not, that doesn't matter. This is the truth of how people feel, and I think that that's probably the main thing that's kind of there's so much pushback against the issuance cut. Everything that I've seen about the issuance has been like, oh, we need to like reduce issuance to like try to protect ourselves from centralization of staking power, right? Because like all these LSTs are getting vast amounts of staking power, and even like Bitminer and stuff like that, who have huge bags of ETH and staked, they're getting more and more and more of it, right? So I don't know. I don't know what to say, but I kind of agree with him. Like, if somehow they can keep the price higher, then people aren't going to worry so much about this issuance and whether it needs to be cut or not. Moving on, here we have a proof. Is Etherscan going to make bubble maps obsolete? A lot of information in here now. Who are the holders? How many whale holders are there? Different size holders, and all kinds of holder information now to be found on Etherscan. And that's great. Wallet depth by threshold, all kinds of good information here for you to check on Etherscan if you are holding some token or checking out some token. Okay, Bantag retweeted this out today, and it's a little bit hard for me to understand because it's pretty technical as always with him. But what he did, so he took a bit of encouragement and he migrated his solo validators to a local server. So before he was using cloud computing and paying for that, and now he's using a computer in his house or some local place. I don't know, maybe in a warehouse. I don't know, right? And he's happy with it. He's measured the network usage. It's pretty much constant at 15 megabits per second, both up and down. He says you also need at least 4 terabytes fast internet. I don't know what this NVM is. 64 gigabytes of RAM, fast CPU, stable network. As I said, I'm not having data center quality network is probably the most common disqualifying factor. I find it pretty hard to absorb this stuff, and I think like home staking is still something that is very niche and only for hobbyists or people who are technically competent, and that's sadness. That's not great. Okay, Squid. So Squid Router, I talked about this a lot in the past. I've used Squid Router a lot to bridge things. Now I generally use bridge aggregators, so I don't know necessarily if I'm using Squid very often, but it is there. But it looks like they're doing a token sale. Okay, now you can obviously check through this, read through this article in your own time, but there's some things in here like kind of make me like I don't really want to look at this, right? It says The utility. I'm a utilitarian. If it doesn't have utility, I don't want to buy it, right? So that's the first place I always look, and then I'll look at tokenomics and see if like the investment side of things makes sense. But anyhow, so planned in-app functionality may be introduced or modified over time. And then they go through and they kind of talk about like, squid staking, squid buybacks, governance, in-app utility. This kind of sounds like a fundraise with like, oh, trust me, bro. We're going to build it. And I'm not going to participate in something that's like that. I'm sorry, guys. Good luck to you, and I hope you have success. But I want to know what this thing's going to do before I buy it. Okay, so moving on. So this is pretty interesting. Okay, so Wavy found this toxic pool, an ordinary curve Uniswap pool designed to fool DEX aggregators. A malicious oracle or hook forces quotes via ETH call to see different rate than the real transactions. Yeah, so somehow somebody has created these false pools with hooks, and aggregators are like, oh, I can get a good price on my ETH there, and they're swapping through and getting a bad price. So that's pretty cool, pretty sad, but like it's cool that Wavy was able to find this and he's sharing it all right here. Moving on, so Johnny, master plan part 1 is well underway. The YFI comeback will be glorious. Yeah, so sometime last week I had tweeted out that YFI is one of the tokens that I think has some potential. It's this project. I'm a longtime advocate user of Yearn Finance. In my opinion, it's the safest place in DeFi to get yield. It's just they do their due diligence, right? But now they have like, I think it's like 95 or 90% of all revenue is just going to staked YFI holders. So you can just stake it and get like your pro rata share of it. It's a tiny supply of tokens. And then they have this new Flex thing, which is awesome, and I'm using it, and it's just adding more revenue to their generation. So check it out. I think there's quite a few tokens out there right now that are heavily discounted in the current market. If you've got dry powder stable coins, you can look at them and consider them. Liquidity. So Liquidity is tweeted out today about their comparer.verkle app. This is not new, but it seems to be under active development, and things have been added to it. So it compares borrowing costs across Aave, Spark, Maker, Curve, and Compound. And you can kind of go through this, click through this, and find out if it would be better for you to open your debt on Liquidity V2 or stay inside these kinds of protocols. In most cases, it's better to migrate. Now, of course, you have to consider size and stuff like that, but you can check out this tool. Shalag is tweeted out this, which is pretty interesting, I heard. So more bad news for Stream holders. So that's XUSD token, as their still levered positions are continuing to get liquidated today. They just got liquidated on Quintana, despite having funds on the chain for 20 hours to pay the entire debt back. So yeah, so it's basically an uncaptained ship, yeah, and the pirates are just looting it, right? So yeah, that's happening. So more details here. I hope they close down and repay, and some of the positions that I'm stuck in get opened up at least partially and recovered partially, but I'm not very hopeful right now. Okay, moving on. Pharaohs has tweeted out this. So there's this compliance aspect on Pharaohs. You can check it out, the compliance tracker. He says, just in stablecoins operating in the EU have 6 days left to gain MiCA authorization. So yeah, 6 days. And then all of these red stablecoins are illegal in Europe. So yeah, there's only a few in here. Like if you open up these lists, you've got this British pound, Monerium British pound, USDC, coin vertible. I've never even heard of this one. USDG global dollar, USDQ quartos dollar, USDM from Montea, which is pending, and then all of these are not compliant. So, and there's more and more and more. You got to go through the list. You got to go there and check it out. If you're a Euro, you might want to consider that. If you're holding these coins, you might want to consider that. They might get dumped like crazy because people are exiting out of them, and people like to just dump on liquidity pools instead to get out of stuff. Last tweet today is Ramsey's tweeting out a reminder, okay? Uselessly inflating your own token for higher APR is certainly a way to do business, but we prefer to remain sustainable. Fees greater than emissions, burns to reduce supply, and that's it. So yeah, like, you know, if you are a governance token holder, this is one of the things you need to really think about. Does your protocol issue more token value than it pulls in revenue? If it does, then I would highly consider leaving that and finding one that doesn't do that. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope this has been interesting and useful. Before I say goodbye, I will remind you that I have my secret sandwich NFT, my secret sandwich.xyz website with a lot of ways to support me. Number one, you can use one of my reference links, these links here, to do stuff. I get tiny bits of dollars, perhaps. I've got this sandwich token and the sandwich god. You can do some research on what this is. I've got these vaults here with Yearn. You can deposit into Yearn via my vault, and they will give me a small amount of the fees that they currently. Now these are not any contracts. These are not my contracts. These are only using their Yearn official contracts. So you can deposit through those, or if you want, you can mint an NFT. There's no utility for this NFT. It's purely a donation to me, and but you get a nice cool sandwich on mainnet. So that's it. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.